Hello and welcome to the end of our introductory course to SDF here on SweetHub. It is just about time for you to venture out into the real world and apply what you've learned here. In this course, we've laid out what SDF is and why it's important for NetSuite developers. We've discussed the core concepts of SDF. We've installed SDF, created a project, and reviewed its lifecycle. We've provided ideas for practical, day-to-day processes for getting the most out of SDF, and we've looked at some of the drawbacks and the shortcomings of SDF. Through all of that, my hope is that you now have a much better understanding of how you can use SDF to manage and deploy your SweetScript customizations quickly, consistently, and reliably. But this course is only a beginning. Your learning should not stop here. We certainly did not cover every aspect of SDF, and SDF is under active development. It's going to be continually growing and changing. We have several resources listed and linked below for you to continue learning and growing your skills right alongside SDF. First, NetSuite's help documentation is always going to be your official reference for SDF's features and behaviors. As such, it should be your first resource, the first place you check for researching and confirming how SDF works. You can access the online documentation either through the NetSuite UI or Oracle's public documentation site. You'll also want to follow and peruse the official GitHub repository for SDF. There you'll be able to find and submit any known issues or feature requests, and you can receive notifications whenever a new release of SDF is published. Of course, be sure to visit the course's Slack channel with any questions or answers you might have for myself or your fellow students. Once you've gone out and put some of this knowledge to use in the real world, come back and share what you've learned. That will help this community grow and learn together. And it will make the SweetScript community as a whole larger, healthier, and stronger. While you're in Slack, you can also join the NetSuite Professionals Slack workspace, especially the SweetScript and SDF channels there. You will find thousands of NetSuite developers there asking and answering questions, sharing tips, collaborating, or commiserating on all things SweetScript. Below, I've also linked a few helpful blogs. SweetRep is a NetSuite partner that wrote a great introductory blog series on SDF. And they have articles explaining how to set up SDF in the various development environments like WebStorm and VS Code, which is something we did not cover here. I highly recommend you give that series a read. And then the Salto blog also has a category dedicated to NetSuite configuration with posts from multiple talented contributors. Make sure you give that a read and follow along for any additional posts. Of course, be sure to check out the other courses right here on SweetHub. The library and the community will only continue to expand. If you have colleagues or connections who might benefit from either this course or the SweetHub platform, make sure you share that link with them. Active participation in communities of practice like this one is how we develop high-functioning professional circles. Lastly, don't forget to grab your certificate of completion and share it on LinkedIn. Feel free to mention me, mention Salto. We would love to congratulate you. That wraps up our introduction to the SweetCloud development framework here on SweetHub. My name is Eric Grubaugh. It has been a pleasure to be your instructor for this course, and I cannot thank you enough for trusting us to help you improve your SweetScript skills. Thank you.